crystals. See for yourself that Carnation is truly instant mixing. Take a glass of water, pour in Carnation's magic crystals. Now watch what actually happens. The instant they touch water, Carnation's magic crystals start to dissolve into fresh-flavored, non-fat milk. And here's proof that Carnation's magic crystals dissolve completely. The whole family will enjoy Carnation Instant Non-Fat Milk, the magic crystals instant that's delicious for drinking. And you'll also like Carnation Instant Chocolate Drink. It's the same magic crystals of non-fat milk with rich chocolate flavor.
Come in, Doc.
Ready?
You have your coat, Doc.
Yes, thank you. David, what can I say?
Sit down, Doc.
Thank you.
Doc, naturally, Betty and I are rather curious as to what Ellen said to you tonight.
I haven't seen her, David. She hasn't been home.
Then how did you know?
Well, Dr. Meadows flew in from Columbus. He told us what had happened. I don't know whether you know him or not.
Ellen told us about it.
Doc, what kind of doctor is he? What kind of person would do what he did? Help Ellen, just find out.
Please, try to understand.
Try to understand what? If it hadn't been for that doctor, Ellen wouldn't have gotten any hospital records. She wouldn't have checked any footprints.
I agree with Betty. I think it's inexcusable, Doc.
David, you have to try to understand his position. Now, Ellen came to him with what seemed to be a fantastic story. By getting the hospital records, he hoped to prove to her once and for all how ridiculous she was to ever have had such a crazy idea. He was only trying to make her realize that she had to forget her son, that her son was a part of her past. No, under the circumstances, David, it's something I know I would have done, and I'm quite sure you would have too.
Well, maybe I would. Maybe I would. In any event, what's done is done.
I don't know how much Ellen told you.
Well, she told us everything, I guess, all about her relationship with Dr. Cole, that her baby was born out of wedlock. She told us everything there was to know.
I see.
She told us about the footprints, and about her making what she considers positive identification. She's certain that Danny's her son, and she wants him.
And she's not going to get him. I'll die, Doug, before I'll give that boy up. He is not her son. He's mine, and she's not going to get him.
Honey, why don't you think about getting some sleep?
I'm not going to bed. I can't sleep. I'm afraid to sleep.
There's one thing I have to know. As a matter of fact, it's the one inconsistency I find in this whole story.
What's that?
Well, now, we've all assumed right along that you were Danny's parents. What I mean to say is that you were his natural parents. David, I have to know. Did you adopt him?
No, we didn't. He's our son. I gave birth to him.
Betty, I think Doug can be a great help to us. I hope he can, but if he can, he's got to know the truth.
No,
Betty.
David, no. No, no, no.
We'll return to As the World Turns in just a moment.
Carnation Instant Non-Fat Dry Milk announces a new weight reduction plan. A meal replacement diet that provides delicious flavor, 1,000 calories, and balanced nutrition for only 44 cents a day. All you need is a cup and a half of Carnation Instant Non-Fat Dry Milk, 10 cents, a quart of fresh whole milk, 25 cents, one standard multivitamin mineral capsule, 9 cents. To mix, just add the Carnation Magic Crystals to fresh whole milk. Take one multivitamin mineral capsule each day. Replace every meal or just 1 or 2 meals with a glass of delicious Carnation formula, the meal replacement formula with fresh milk flavor. As in all diets, check your doctor. You'll find full directions for Carnation's new weight reduction plan on your next package of Carnation Instant Non-Fat Dry Milk.
Betty, David is right. I have to know the truth if I'm going to be of any real help to you. Now, if Ellen has any basis for feeling as she does that you've adopted her son, well, I have to know.
The point is, dear, that sooner or later the fact will come out. We have to cooperate with Doug. Yes, Doug, we have every reason to believe that Danny is the baby that Ellen gave birth to.
Joe Meadows was positive. I just couldn't believe it. Well, did you admit this to her?
Well, we didn't have to. She was so sure of her ground. Ellen undoubtedly has all she needs.
Well, how did you leave things with her?
Well, she said she'd give us some time to think it over. She realized it was such a great shock, but that she's coming back because she wants her son.
Well, she can't have him. Surely you must both know that.
Well, we know that he's legally adopted and we love him, that we're not going to give him up. But all these things we told Ellen, but she still seems to feel that we will give him up.
David, you have to understand that the girl is in an emotional turmoil.
Doug, what do you think she's done to us?
I know, Betty, believe me, and I can't tell you how sorry I am that this has happened. I'm sorry for both of you, and I'm sorry for Ellen, too. David, undoubtedly you've discussed what you're going to do.
I see it, Doug. There's nothing that we can or should do. We have the adoption papers. That's all we need.
Yes, of course.
So the question becomes, what is Ellen going to do?
Well, as I see it, there isn't anything she can do.
Oh, Doug, don't say that. She can make so much trouble. She can't get my son, but do you realize the trouble she can make?
Betty, I sincerely hope that Ellen has too much sense to try to carry this any further.
Well, naturally, we hope that too, Doug, but you didn't see her tonight. You didn't hear her. I'm no psychiatrist. I know very little about psychiatry, but the girl that was here tonight was obsessed with the idea of getting her son back, and there's nothing going to stop her from it.
Well, in the past, David, I've been able to reason with Ellen. Let me talk to her. Maybe I can make her understand now.
Suppose you can't.
Well, right now, I'd rather go on the assumption that I can. I think that once the hopelessness of the situation is pointed out to her, she'll see things differently. I think she'll realize that the present arrangement is best for her son, and that, after all, should be her principal consideration.
Well, if there's anything to be gained by my talking to her again.
Thank you. We'll see. In any event, I'll be in touch with you in the morning.
I appreciate your coming over tonight, Doug.
Good night, Betty.
Good night, Doug. Yes, Danny?
I can't sleep. I woke up and I can't go back to sleep.
Mother's coming. Your mother's coming.
As the World Turns has been brought to you today by Carnation, the milk from contented cows. Carnation Instant Non-Fat Dry Milk and Carnation Instant Chocolate Drink. Fashions from Mr. Mort. Join us again Monday for another half hour of drama on As the World Turns.